Hello, hello, hello. Bonsoir tout le monde. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Poetry and Perspective with Placide. I am your kind hostess, Cindy Placide. As usual, before I begin to say anything else, let me make sure that my Facebook viewers can view me live. So give me about 10 seconds. Okay. So let's go. Alrighty, we are live. Okay, guys. As I said, I am Cindy Placid. I am from the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Lucia. Of course, big up all Caribbean masses, St. Lucia, Jamaica, everywhere in the Caribbean, Grenada, Dominica, Trinidad and Tobago. I welcome all of you guys, to Poetry and Perspective with Placid. Okay, like I said, I'm from the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Lucia. I am a poet, author, advocate. I advocate for so many different causes because I feel everything needs to be heard. But my main causes include autism because I have a child with autism, mental illness because of my own struggles with mental illness, and dwarfism, and particularly tonothoracic dysplasia because I had a child who was born with a rare condition called tonothoracic dysplasia, and unfortunately, she passed away. Okay, guys. So I am advocating for these things, and as you know as well, I advocate for domestic violence, for pregnancy and child loss, for cancer, and anybody who wants to give voice to their cause, bring awareness to something, I am advocating for this. Now, tonight, I have two amazing guests with me. And like I promised before, that Poetry and Perspective for this month of November into December is going to be very informative. As you saw, I advertise, I am going to be, tonight, we're going to be talking about financial literacy. I think this is a topic that is very important to everyone everywhere in every part of the world, and I think that it is a very important topic to discuss. So we're going to discuss some of that, and we're going to have our guests. But before I bring that guest to talk about that, it is also national. Am I saying that right? It is also national. Oh my gosh, national. Oh my gosh, am I saying that? My mind just went absolutely blank, guys. It is the National Epilepsy Month. Yes, we are observing epilepsy. Okay, so it is National Epilepsy Month. We bring awareness to epilepsy. I think a couple of years back, I interviewed a few doctors when I was with, I don't know if you remember, Caribbean Focus TV, and then I took a real interest in epilepsy and seizures and the effects that it has on the human body, on us. So I am going to bring awareness to that. So tonight, my first guest, and she's not going to be here for long. My first guest is one of the members on the board of epilepsy board of, I hope I'm saying this right. When I get on here, correct me. And she's on the board for epilepsy, and we are going to she's going to tell you what is happening and just describe to you a little bit what epilepsy is. So please let me bring on our guest, Dr. Raquel Quarles. Bring you on. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
It is a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. It's all mine. So yes, it is Epilepsy Awareness Month, guys. I'm correcting myself. Epilepsy Awareness Month. Okay, so please tell the viewers a little bit about who Raquel Quarles is and what your cause is and what you're going to be having.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, I am Dr. Raquel Quarles. I'm a professor in the Department of Community Health and Preventive Medicine at Morehouse School of Medicine. And I lead our epilepsy research team. And I also founded the Epilepsy Community Advisory Board at Morehouse School of Medicine with colleagues from Emory through the research program that we started. And the Epilepsy Community Advisory Board is made up of people who are surviving with epilepsy, people who support people with epilepsy, community advocates, people who treat healthcare providers who treat people with epilepsy, and now researchers are also a part of that board. And so we are excited to be celebrating and making people aware of Epilepsy Awareness Month, which is the month of November.
Absolutely. Now, listen, guys, tonight it was just our impromptu night because we had no idea we were going to have Dr. Raquel here, but we made it happen, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Just really quickly wanted to just share. So, just what is epilepsy? Epilepsy is a brain disorder that's characterized by seizures. And these are unprovoked seizures. And so, people can develop epilepsy at any age. 1 in 26 people have epilepsy. So, it's more common than you think. It's just that people don't necessarily talk about it and they don't share that they have epilepsy, but it is a really challenging condition. And that is why we are hosting tomorrow morning from 11 to 1, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are hosting a virtual training, seizure recognition and first aid certification. And that's to teach people how to recognize if someone is having a seizure, but then more importantly, how do you support them? What do you do? How do you respond if you are in the company of someone who's having a seizure? What's the best thing to do in order to keep them safe? And so this 2-hour training is tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And she has put the link to register for it at the bottom of the screen. And Cindy's also been sharing our flyer for it. And so we would love to have you if you would like to learn more about epilepsy. Most people think that seizures are just those that are convulsing when someone is convulsing and falling on the ground, but there are actually many different types of seizures. There are seizures where people just look like they're staring off in space. And so that training will help you to know if someone's having a seizure, but then what to do in response to them having a seizure and how to keep them safe. And knowing that if someone has epilepsy, you don't need to call 911. That's just making them pay more money unnecessarily, unless the seizure lasts longer than 5 minutes. So remember, epilepsy, because it's characterized by seizures, if people are having a seizure, that's part of their condition. It's just a part of their condition. Like when someone who has diabetes needs to be checking their blood sugar every day. People who have epilepsy are triggered sometimes by different things and can have seizures at any time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Dr. Raquel, what are we going to do this month for our viewers? Because I know you said a handful. What are we going to do for them?
Well, I think that we come back and we can talk more about epilepsy later this month and let people know a little bit more about epilepsy and what they can do to support people who have epilepsy and where they can find more information.
And I think that is an amazing idea. We need to have more people because I did not know too much about epilepsy. I knew about seizures, but then when I had you guys on, when I interviewed you doctors and also somebody who had epilepsy, I took a keen interest because I got to understand that none of us are immune to it.
No, anyone with a brain can have a seizure. Just know that. Anyone with a brain can have epilepsy. So it is really important because you can develop it at any point in life. The most common age groups that develop epilepsy are children and older adults. But that
Wow.
doesn't mean that people in between don't develop it.
Wow. 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 That is something. Hmm. So, guys, listen, we are going to, this is Dr. Raquel Quarles. And tell them again, what do you do, Dr. Raquel?
I'm a professor at Morehouse School of Medicine, and I lead our epilepsy research unit. And so tomorrow we are having a seizure recognition and first aid certification training, and it's going to be virtual by Zoom. So you can join from anywhere, and it will be held 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Um, Eastern Standard Time. And you can register by putting in that link that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So it's
And
Epilepsy Awareness Month. November is Epilepsy Awareness Month.
absolutely. So we are going to have Dr. Raquel back here this month. So if you have anybody whom you know that is has suffered seizures and want to know more about it, or if you just have a family friend who wants to learn how to do what is the first aid with
Seizure,
epilepsy.
yes, seizure recognition and first aid. Yep.
Exactly. So get on the training. I am going to put it on the chat up here. But before we go, Dr. Raquez, let me acknowledge our viewers already here. Aloysius Gerson. Hi, cuz. How are you? I always say this. We have Maureen Mafre, my cousin again. How are you, darling? And Nymphia Emmanuel. Good night to you all. I thank you so much. This is Dr. Raquel. So it is National Epilepsy Month, as you guys have seen me promoting. So she's gonna be back here again this month. We're gonna let you guys know. Dr. Raquel is gonna be back here. Like she said, she's from the Morehouse College. She is on the board of.
I'm at Morehouse School of Medicine, and we started an epilepsy advisory board.
Awesome. So come back this month. Look out for the post. Thank you so much for being here again, Dr. Raquel. It was a
Thank you,
pleasure.
thank you, thank you for letting me come on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Have a
Absolutely.
great rest of your night.
You do the same. Thank you. Good
Okay,
night.
bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, that was amazing, wasn't it? That was amazing. Impromptu, sometimes it works best. Okay, so look out for that training, guys. I'm going to put this on the chat. Let me see if I can put this on the chat. Dr. Raquel is going to be back here in a couple of maybe a week or so to speak more about epilepsy and what it is and how it affects others. So please come back. Please come back to listen to that show. I promise you, when you do listen to this show, you are going to have a better understanding, and you're going to be thankful that you know, you even listen to this, because I have listened to it. I have, seen the training before, and I can tell you, I was blown away by what I learned. Okay, I'm just trying to put the thing on the chat here for you guys. So I just put the the link for the epilepsy training tomorrow, so you guys can go and look at that. Okay, so seizure first aid, I'll put it like this. Okay, all right, guys, so check that out tomorrow, and it's also running on the screen. Okay, all right, so next we have with us, we were talking about financial literacy. Okay, so we have with us a gentleman who is going to be talking, helping us to understand what it means to be financially literate from a different perspective. Okay, I know I have brought a lot of people over here, so but it is important that we know how actually fundamental being literate about finances and how to make money or leave something when we leave this for our children or to be taken care of. So tonight, with no further ado, I have with me Mr. Christopher Stewart from Chris Kitchen, and he's gonna be here. So hi to my friend Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi Cindy, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you so much for having me tonight with you.
The pleasure is all mine, and thank you so much for being here with us. So, Mr. Chris, you saw Dr.
Oh, Dr.
Dr.
Raquel,
Raquel.
listen,
Yes.
awesome, awesome. I learned so much in that short period of time, and to think my boys were just down at Morehouse over the weekend because they're now doing a college tour.
Mm-hmm.
But the information that she brought was well received, and it just opened my eyes because I do have family members that suffer as well from that. So to be aware of what, so I'm definitely gonna be logging into that training as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, here I let the voices be heard. I educate and I inform people and I bring awareness to so many things and so many people. So that's what the show is all about. So, Chris, now I hope you're gonna be looking at that training tomorrow.
Definitely, definitely, because I definitely want to be more aware of it. And just the fact that, I mean, when she mentioned that the ages and all of that stuff is like, it blew my mind.
hmm I told you I had an in-depth interview with her and another doctor and this lady who were advocating for epilepsy. And I stood in there in that interview as an interviewer, and I was just like, I was really shivering because I'm going like, I have a child with autism, and children with autism are prone to having seizures.
Mm.
And when she said the age group, I'm going to, oh my God.
Right.
So yeah, so it is important that we are educated about these things, because like I said to everybody, none of us are immune to sickness, suffering, pain,
No.
or death. None of us. So, but we want to prolong our lives. We want to be able to know as much as we can about these things. Which brings us into my topic of being financially literate and what we need to do to help ourselves. So, Chris, please tell the viewers a little bit about you, who you are, and what you do. And of course, we want to know where you're from.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not gonna be like Dr. Raquel. I can't feel her shoes, but I'm just here. I'm from Jamaica, born and raised, migrated to the United States like most West Indians do for the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
Now, got here and I've always had the mindset that I cannot work for anyone. So the
Mm-hmm.
first chance I got to open my own business, I started doing that. And then after a number of years, I realized one thing, Cindy, still wasn't rich. At one point, I had like three businesses and I wasn't rich. So what was I doing wrong? And then I realized years later, the number one thing I was doing wrong was I was working for money. No wealthy person work for money; they work for time.
Mm-hmm.
Average folks trade time for dollars. So in order for me to be wealthy, I had to learn the games of the wealthy to see what they're doing, because we cannot play. If we don't know the rules, we can't really play the game, right?
Exactly.
So I wanted to learn, and then I started learning about finance, but I didn't have the money for college or the time. So then a friend of mine who's a physician, when I realized he was giving up his practice, I was like, is he losing it? And he was switching to finance because he owned the urgent care, and he was covering two emergency rooms in two major hospitals. And when he told me he was walking away from medicine, I was like, okay, what's going on? Is this a midlife crisis? Do we need an intervention right here? What's going on? But he saw something better. He wanted to learn finance because in one of his investment account he had over 200,000, and he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even getting 3% interest rate on it. So we started discussing finance, and I saw the opportunity to learn it with him, and that changed my life. Within 18 months, I was able to retire, liquidate all my businesses, and now all I do is teach financial literacy. And I
Wow.
realize it's one of the biggest pieces that's missing in our community. So you'll see Chris's Kitchen from the old restaurant that I had and all of that. So that's why I'm here, from the
Okay.
kitchen to the classroom, Cindy.
Oh, awesome. You know what? We can be anything we choose to be as long as we put
Yes,
our minds to it. Okay?
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So tell us the transition and how did you go about doing it, and what are some of the things that you can teach others? Tell us some first, but tell me the transition of how you went about doing it.
I went about it, like I said, a friend of mine introduced me to a wonderful company. And when he said to me, I want to show you how you can get your license in the world of finance, and it's not going to cost you a dollar. I'm like, okay, hold up, hold up. This don't sound right. I'm from the West Indies, and we know education is not free. So to
Mm-hmm.
get these licenses, I didn't even know what they were. He said to me, you're a Series 6, 63. So he's going to help me to where I can do stocks, bonds, 401k, mutual funds, Roth IRA, all of these stuff from the comfort of home. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, what do I have to do? He said, you need to have a clean background. A
Mm-hmm.
trainer will be assigned to you to teach you finance step by step. You can do it online or in person. And then I'm like, okay, what do I have to lose? I know my
Mm-hmm.
background was clean and I always wanted to learn finance. So it was a perfect marriage for me. And the
Mm-hmm.
company offered a scholarship. So I'm like, okay, let's go. What do I have to do? So I got qualified. And the first license after I got qualified, I acquired was my life license for life
Mm-hmm.
insurance. I wasn't happy at first. I'm like, I'm not going to be leaving my restaurant to sell life insurance. But that was because of my ignorance. Because as West Indians, a lot of times when we talk about life insurance, we associate it with death. But that's not what life insurance is. Life insurance is actually one of the easiest vehicles to create generational wealth with. But I didn't know how to do this
Mm-hmm.
because in our
Wow.
community, we're taught when you hear about life insurance, we're associating with death, death. That's not what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
It's income protection, it's generational wealth. If we have kids, we definitely want the next generation to be doing better than how we did. And we want to leave a legacy for them, a foundation that they can build on.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't have it, we're only depending on our 401k. And I'll get into that more. We're not even leaving anything behind. Life
Wow.
insurance is tax free. When we're
Wow.
young and healthy, it's the best time to get it. But because of the lack of knowledge in our community, most people don't have it, or they go for what's called, they don't get the right coverage. The average family right now, 43% of Americans have no life insurance coverage at all. And majority of these folks are parents. As parents, when we have kids, our kids are depending on our income, whether we are here or not, until they're at least 23 years old.
Wow.
We have parents today, Cindy, walking around with insurance on their cell phones and no insurance on their lives. When was the last time someone passed away and left a cell phone that changed a whole generation?
Now that is the most absurd thing for me. You don't have life insurance on yourself. And I was ignorant to that at first. At first I'm like, I need insurance on my phone. But now I need insurance on me. Okay? I'm more important than that phone, guys. Be important than our devices. Okay, so it is important. I'm joking because I like to laugh around and joke around, but it is, and you know that, Chris.
Mhm,
But
absolutely.
it is important that we prioritize. What is the priority for us? Is it that device that we're holding in our hand, or is it our own life? And you know, we were born, we don't want to die, and we don't want to, you understand, we don't want to get sick and something happen to us, and we cannot take care of ourselves. So that's where life insurance comes in. And what are some of the benefits of your life insurance?
I'm great. I'm glad you asked me that question. Some of the benefits are we don't need to die to enjoy them. For example, with your life insurance policy, you can go to the doctor. We don't know. We're as healthy as we are today. You go to the doctor and you get a terminal illness diagnosis. You can actually receive 40% of the face value of your insurance policy to take care of you, paid directly to you, not to a physician, while you're still fighting this diagnosis. There's waiver of premium for you get hurt on the job and you go out on disability. Company will pay the premium, the monthly premium, until you return to work. If it's a permanent disability, then they'll pay it for the rest of your life. These are all the features of a life insurance policy. But what we don't believe in is never, ever, ever, Cindy, or any of you guests listening to me tonight, ever mix insurance with investments. It's two separate things. If you're getting an insurance policy that has investments in it, it's wrong. It's like oil and water. They don't mix. Insurance is separate from your investments. One
Mm-hmm.
has nothing to do with the other. It's two separate things. My philosophy is this: insurance is not meant for our entire life. It's only meant for a period of time while your investments is growing. The older we get in life, we don't need life insurance. We need cash. We need money to take care of us.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is absolutely true. I had a 75-year-old Haitian friend. I call her my mama. She was living upstairs, and she said, "My child, as you grow older, when you are young, make sure you have money put on the side for when you're getting older. Because at my age, at 75, this is the time I need money."
Yes, not
Yep. So,
not a policy, not a insurance is meant to have in the beginning when we are young and healthy, because at
mhm,
that point in life we have a lot of responsibility and not a lot of money. So we get insurance with investments. As the years goes by, our responsibilities are going to be going down, but our investments was going up. The minute that your investment is equal to your life insurance, you're self-insured. If you're covered, for example, for 300,000 in insurance and you have 300,000 in investments, you're self-insured. It's at this point that you cancel the insurance policy, take what you're paying for a policy, and put more money towards your investments. It's the money we need when we're older, not an insurance policy.
Chris, where have you been all my life? sometimes you hear people explain stuff, but you know the way you explain it is so real. Wow, continue.
Yes, folks, and the biggest piece to this is, like I said, our investments in our community. We're thinking that we need to have 300,000, 400,000 to sit with a financial advisor. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't. $100 a month can change your life. $200 a month. That single mom can start a college plan for her kids for as little as $25 a month. Now we know it may not be 100% of what they need for college, but 50% of something is always better than 100% of nothing. And if we can hold back on the video games, the expensive tennis, and invest in our kids, when they go to college and they get some scholarships, they can still graduate from college debt free. I have what's called, what I prepare for my clients, financial needs analysis. One of the biggest things I find today that's happening now is young people graduating from college and cannot qualify for a mortgage because they're coming out of school with too much student loan. The student debt is too high, they won't even be able to qualify for a mortgage. So life is over for them, as we know, before they even started from a financial standpoint.
Wow. Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. Whatever thought you have left, because as usual, I have to say hello to my viewers who have been
Absolutely.
commenting on the page. So hello to again, once again, hello to my amazing viewers, my amazing risers. I call my viewers risers and my prosperity builders. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Let me say good night to Cynthia Fontinel. Good night to you, sweetheart. How are you? Raquel, of course, our guest. She says, great point. People have insurance on their phones, but not their lives. That is so absurd. And Faith and Hope says, why didn't they teach us that in school? Good question. They don't teach us these things in school. Okay. So listen, guys, if you are watching this show, if you are just coming in, we are speaking. First, we had Dr. Raquel Quarles with us, being recognition to National Epilepsy Month. And now we have Christopher Christopher Stewart, better known as Chris, who is teaching us some financial literacy. Okay, so it is important that we like and share these videos. Invite your friend to come and listen in, because it is, I'm telling you, so far it has become very informative. He has already, my almost as if my toes are curling up with whatever. So okay, so listen, guys, listen, this is important that we get as much as information as we can about being financially literate, because a lot of times we folks are suffering and we don't understand why we live in paycheck to paycheck, and then we have this business, we're not making money, you understand? But we have to be smart in and not work harder but smarter. Okay, so Chris, now you said I'm sorry, I mean, sorry, your last statement was about oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. What was your last statement? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Talking about the college plan for kids.
Yes. So what, tell us a little bit about that.
So the average child, starting at the right age, we can set as little as $25 a month towards a college plan for a child. There's so many ways that we can do to make sure our babies don't graduate with student loans. We start a business. You can hire your child through your business, pay them, and that's a tax write-off. Have them on your payroll, and that's a tax write-off at the end of the year. Most people don't know this. It's a tax write-off. It all depends on how financial literate you are. This information is there. And right now, we're offering anyone who wants to learn finance with a clean background that can qualify. Cindy will leave the information in the group where you can get in touch with us and get a scholarship. Learn finance. It's not hard. It's one of the biggest setback, because most folks, like I say, 95% of the working force in this country will retire broke.
Hmm.
Will retire broke.
Basically.
Will retire broke. Social Security is not guaranteed by 2034. The stats are amazing and it's there.
Chris, I was listening to you talk about the student loans, and if people just realize how detrimental the student loans have been to so many people, it have left more people in debt. And some people get their education and they're just sitting on there with on student loans, and they don't even have a job to pay those student loans.
And in order to advance on the job, what do we need to do? You need another degree. So you have to go back out and take another loan to go back to school again, putting yourself further in debt to climb the corporate ladder.
Yes.
Meanwhile, if they had the financial literacy and their parents started out from day one, they could have been in a way better position. But because of lack of knowledge, we're not able. Because look at it, all the major sports figures has several coaches working with them on a daily basis. Why is it that when it comes to our finance, we want to wing it and do it in the blind? We just want to go about it by ourselves. We have to, when it comes to finance, you have to have a financial advisor. You need to learn, because even when it comes to retirement, if we don't plan our retirement, then we just planning to retire in a hope and a prayer in the dark. Most people today in our community don't even know the difference between a Roth IRA and a 401k.
So please explain that to us.
With the 401k, it's simply this: a portion of your income is set aside for investments for retirement before any taxes was taken out of it. But at 59 and a half years old, taxes is due on your 401k. Meanwhile, the Roth IRA, taxes taken out up front. So in the end, it's a tax-free vehicle. But most people don't know the difference. So they're retiring thinking everything I have in my 401k is going to be mine. Ladies and gentlemen, no tax was paid on that. So Cindy, as a result, it's due. And they have to pay it. And there is no way around it. But again, because of lack of financial literacy, we don't know this stuff. The average family, they don't know what a Roth IRA is. So most people in our community, they don't even know what a emergency account is, a short-term account, or wealth building account. We tend to get what? The checking account and the savings account. 90% of what we earn,
That's what we were taught.
right?
That's
And
what we were taught.
right,
Save.
right. And 90% of what we earn, we put in the bank, in the checking account, and the change is tossed in the savings account. Every time we have an emergency, we have to go back to the checking account, even if we have to overdraft it. So that means we're always one emergency away from starting over. How can we really get ahead with a system like that?
Let me tell you something I have learned, to my viewers. Bank, yes, we need them, but they are not a way for you to have any kind of money, for you to build any kind of wealth. Nothing.
Mm-mm. We'll
Because
never
guess
be.
what happens? When you put your money in the bank using it for somebody, it's not your money anymore, you know. It is not your money anymore. Continue,
No,
Chris.
it's working for them. That's why everyone should at least, the basics to learn when it comes to banking is learn the rule of 72, or the banker's rule. Once you learn this rule, you will never ever use a bank as a source to grow your investments or your finances for you, because it's simply stated this rule is actually created by Albert Einstein, and banks and credit card companies are still using it. And it's simple: whatever interest rate you're receiving from your bank, divide it by 72. The answer you'll get will determine the number of years it's going to take for your money to double once in the bank. So if you were getting 3% on, say, $10,000 that you started an account within the bank, when you divide 3 by 72 is 24. It would actually take you 24 years for your money to double once in the bank. Now, who in this day and age want to wait 24 years for their money to double once?
I said, come again.
24 years for your, if you're receiving 3% interest rate on your money, divide that by 72. The answer is 24. It would actually take you 24 years based on this rule for your money to double once in the bank.
I give up. Wow.
Meanwhile, there are other vehicles out there that can be doing way better. You can learn finance, invest your money for yourself, and get paid to manage your own money. You're a broker. There's scholarships out there right now. If you have a clean background, if you have kids, is one of the most important things for you to teach them finance. We can accumulate all the wealth we want. If our kids don't know how to manage it when we're gone, they're going to lose it. Financial literacy is needed. Finance is one of the only business that follows you from the cradle to the grave. When you think about it, every aspect of life, finance is needed.
Yes. I think we even be paying for the air that we breathe now.
I was speaking to a client of mine the other day. He's in his 90s, and you know, when there's no filter, and he said to me, "Let me tell you something." He said, "The times have changed." And I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "In my days, water was free and you paid for porn. In your generation, porn is free and you pay for water." I walked away. I said, I am done.
Yes. Oh my
So
goodness.
it is crazy, Cindy, when it comes to finance, the fact that the simple stuff that we can do and the decisions that we can make to really change a whole generation if we have the right
Yeah.
information. It's not hard. Finance is not hard. We just have to make a decision to want better and change. And it starts with as simple as a life insurance policy can change a whole generation. It's tax free, it creates generational wealth.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The earlier we start investing in our future is the better it is, and no one is going to do it for us. We have to learn it and do it for ourselves. Someone investing as little as $200 a month over a 40-year period at a 9% rate of return is looking at 900,000 in the end.
Sometimes, I feel, Chris, a lot of people don't want to take the time out to be educated. They want to do stuff, they want the money, but they don't want to take the time. They don't want to put the energy into learning what is going to benefit them in the long run. They don't want to do it. And I think it is sad. I think we have been preconditioned to go. And I always say this on the show, there is nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 job.
Mm-mm.
Nothing wrong. But is it going to bring you to that? Is it going to give you the financial freedom that you need? If is it going to give you the personal freedoms that you desire? Is it?
Never,
No.
never. It cannot, because think about this simple scenario. If we're on a job, most of us, we have a supervisor or manager, right? Think about it. In order for you to pass your supervisor or your manager, usually it has to die, retire, or get fired, right? And 9 out of 10
Mhm.
times, that company is going to look on the outside, hire someone to come in, have you train them as a senior employee to now supervise you and pay them more than what they were paying you.
Mhm.
We can
It
work
is the
people.
craziest thing. I have this lady. I know her. All right, she's in my congregation, and this lady is like super qualified. She has masters and in this and masters in that and all kind of stuff. They the same scenario you, but they bring younger people for her to train them, and in the end they will let her go and keep those people she trained. That is the saddest thing. But if she had an extra stream of income or two or three, she wouldn't have to worry, because we live in an age where there's money to be made everywhere. Like I said in the beginning, you don't go and
Mhm.
work harder, you work smarter. You do things that are going to be beneficial to you when you get to a point where you cannot work anymore. And I don't mean having a $35,000 savings in the bank, because within that will just going to last you for maybe a year or two, even less.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because the biggest disparity to us is when we talk about retirement, we don't factor in inflation.
Hmm.
We don't factor in inflation, and that's one of the biggest killers for us. Because when you think about it, a gallon of milk 5 years ago is not the same in cost as it is today, but it's still only a gallon. So we're
Hmm.
thinking, okay, I'm gonna retire and $5,000 is gonna be good. 5,000 today is not going to spend the same way 30 years from now or 10 years from now. We have to factor inflation. And right now, inflation is at an all time high. So if we don't make the adjustments, we're definitely not going to be able to retire when we would like to. And the only way that you can beat inflation, believe it or not, is to raise your income. And that
Yes.
don't mean working more hours, because you're still not, the more hours you work is a higher tax bracket they're putting you in. So you're really not going to be, it's not going to make a difference. You
I was
need to have
looking
a business. Yes.
I was looking at something on TikTok today, right? And this lady was saying the more money, and just exactly what you said, the more you make, the less your paycheck is going to be, because IRS is going to take more. They are going to take more. So
Absolutely.
you have to find ways, first of all, to extra streams of income, multiple streams of income. and how to get back some of what you got from
Right.
what Uncle Sam took from you. And there are so many different ways you can do that. Like you said earlier, you have a business, you can have your child as your employee. You understand? And then you can write add that off on your taxes. There's so many ways that we can do that. Let me see some of the comments that we have so far, Chris. Now, I always encourage the viewers to participate and to ask questions. So let me see who has anything to say. Valerie Lubin, she said, "Good evening, cuz. Good night, honey. How are you?" That's my beautiful cousin. Okay, so
Good night, cousin Valerie.
I have the most beautiful cousins. I don't know about you all, eh? Okay. Yes. And faith and hope. Okay, she said, rule number 72. No, Papa, no one wants to wait 24 years for their money to grow. Exactly. No one. But listen, okay. If I start late, right? Jason Lionel said, great topic tonight. Thank you, Jason. If I start now, how old would I be before my money grow?
If you,
Probably I won't be around.
and a great question, and this is the reason when you look at it, Cindy, why most people today cannot retire. Most people cannot retire because they started out too late. Because most people don't even know what it takes. The first thing we all need to have in place is what's called a financial needs analysis done for us. This
Mhm.
document calculates for you down to the very pennies that's needed so you can retire in comfort. This is a GPS or the roadmap from our older generation
Mhm.
to your retirement, to your financial goals and dreams. But this is not something that's taught. And you go to the bank to get this done, is a fee assessed to get this done, anywhere from $500 to $1,500 to have this document prepared for you. But it's absolutely necessary because this document will calculate for you down to the very pennies that you need to have so you can retire in comfort. And this is something that my colleagues and I we tend to offer it for complimentary when we sit and teach financial literacy. At least everyone should know what it takes to retire.
So, Chris, now we've been talking, got everybody's blood pumping and everything. So, tell us, where can they get that information? How can they get in touch with you or your colleagues? Because I have to keep putting it on the screen so that people are going to know how to find you. I know most people must be wondering, okay, this guy is talking. Where can I find you? Where can I find you? Where can we find you, Chris?
Well, you already have all my contacts in there. Myself and my colleagues, Miss Beverly, Miss Martha, you have all the contacts. So you get in touch with us. We're always here to help in whatever way we can. And also for your viewers, the ones that's interested in finance with a clean background, we can offer scholarships so they can learn finance at their pace. The goal with us is, I've always said this, I pride myself and we pride ourselves on bringing Wall Street to Main Street where the average person can understand finance on a level that they can at least do it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do it for
Okay.
yourself. And Cindy, one thing I got to go back where you mentioned about the wealth. We all know about the baby boomers.
Mm-hmm.
The baby boomers are retiring. As a result of them retiring right now, the largest transfer of wealth is happening in this country. Over
Mm-hmm.
$67 trillion is on the move in this country, and they don't have enough financial advisors right now to handle this transfer of wealth. Combined with the fact that after the 31st of this year, 12,000 Americans will turn 65 on a daily basis. And they need their finances to be rolled over into retirement accounts so they can actually have an income coming in monthly. And there's not enough financial advisors to do this. And you
Can
can
I be a
learn finance.
financial advisor?
Huh?
Can I do the scholarship to be a financial advisor?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As long as it's a clean background, it can be done. Learn finance, teach it to others, and provide these services. And the good thing about this is a lot of your license when it comes to finance, you can get it online. Yes, the exam is practiced, but we have scholarships. We have licensed coordinators who work with you, break down the material step by step. It's not hard. It's not hard. If you're willing to learn, no one can stop you. If you're not willing to learn, no one can teach you.
Absolutely. And you know what? One of my viewers said a very important thing. He said, and don't forget, health is also wealth.
Absolutely nailing it. That viewer is
Thank
so
you,
right because
Jason. Thank you, Jason. Jason
yes,
Lionel,
Jason.
health.
Yes, it goes back to insurance. When you're young and healthy, insurance is cheap and it's necessary. The older we get, the more life insurance costs. We're always one bad diagnosis away from not being able to qualify for life insurance. Every parent that's here that has kids under 18, our kids are dependent on our income, whether we are here or not, until they're at least 23 years old.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And a lot of us don't even think about it this way. It's a fact. I'm blessed with 4 kids and now one grandbaby. If anything happens to me, my kids are taken care of because I made sure whatever I cannot provide for them in life is provided for them in death. I shouldn't die. My family should have to suffer. They should definitely be in a better position. And I made sure I set that up. And that's an opportunity that we can all do as well and create generational wealth.
Yep. Chris, I now listen, guys. I have spoken to Chris on so many different occasions, also with his colleague Martha and Beverly. Beverly and I went to school together. And let me tell you, unless I listen to the presentation, they would not leave me alone. But I'm glad you guys did it. Because I learned so much and I felt it was important that I brought them up here to educate people as well as they educated me, because a lot of times, like Jason said, our health is our wealth, and we are walking around sick. We are walking around with no hope, and we don't have means to take care of ourselves, or even something happens to us, we cannot take care of ourselves. We are not going to leave anything for our children. And when sometimes someone dies, the burden is left on the family, and we have nothing left. We have never left them nothing to cater for our burial and so forth. So it is important that we have something in place where if we lose our 9 to 5, we're not going to worry because we have something extra. But we need to keep senses and our senses open to these different avenues that are provided for us. We need to want to learn about these financial tips to help us in having more comfortable lives,
Hmm.
and to have a peace of mind to know that my children are going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be able to take care of myself, until that day comes when I close my eyes in there. My family is going to be okay. And it brings a measure of comfort, because then, hey, you don't have to worry about whether next bill is how you're going to pay the power bill. I wonder if they're going to cut my power. No.
No,
You don't have to
no.
worry about these things. Now, a lot of people depend on their 401k. How, please explain where the balance falls in with that for me, the 401k. And you mentioned something. I have been trying to pronounce the word, Chris.
The
Excuse me.
Roth IRA. So the
Yeah.
401k is not real. It's money that was taken that was supposed to be paid to the government in taxes, and the
Mhm.
company gave it to you for you to invest it for your retirement. But at 59 and a half years old, Uncle Sam is coming back. That's the point now where taxes is due. You have to pay the taxes on this. If you neglect to pay the taxes then and wait until you're older, it's going to be that almost 50% of that will be taken in taxes because that money was never yours. Cindy, the facial expression, that was never yours. Be-
50%.
yes, close to that. Meanwhile, a Roth IRA is a tax-free vehicle because it's funded with after-tax dollars. So at 59 and a half, you have a Roth IRA in place. Every dime of that money is yours. For your viewers here tonight, if you have a 401k on your job, and if they're not matching, make sure you have a Roth IRA on the side. If they're matching, don't leave any money on the table. If they're only contributing 4 or 5%, only contribute to whatever they're matching. Make sure you have a Roth IRA because it's a way better vehicle in the end to have. And this is something that we sit with clients and we will do for as little as $50 a month. We meet you where you are. A fully funded Roth IRA, Cindy, believe it or not, is only $500 a year. $500 a month, sorry, $6,000 for the year. Most of us, when we get our tax returns, that's the time that you can fully fund your Roth IRA. Instead of going out there and spending that money, invest it. So by the time the next tax season comes, this has grown. This has grown. Keep having your money working for you instead of working for someone else.
People, let me tell you something. Is investments is the way to go. Investment. I'm going to say it again. Investments is the way to go. Invest in yourself. Invest in your financial future. Now, we don't guarantee everybody going to be rich and be millionaires. Do we guarantee that, Chris? No.
No, no, but we guarantee where you can have enough to take care of you and your money is always working for you. Invested in the right funds. Not
Mhm.
every little scam you see come around, you're going to run. The get rich quick schemes do not work.
And there are
Investments
plenty
is
of them
long
out
term.
there. There are
It's
plenty
yes,
of
it's
them.
long term.
Mm-hmm.
It's long term. Any investor that you with should be able to show you their credentials. Okay, here are my license. I'm licensed in this state. This is what I'm licensed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Finance is transparent. But most times, because we're looking for these get rich quick schemes, we fall for them. When you fall, when someone tell you, okay, you need to have an insurance with investments in a whole life policy. No, whole life is sold as insurance with investments. Why is it that you're going to sell me a policy? It's insurance with investments. I'm investing my money and then I have to turn around and borrow this investment and pay it back with interest. So I'm borrowing my own money and paying it back with interest. And the interest is usually anywhere from 4 to 9% or 8% that you have to pay back. If you have a whole life policy, Cindy, believe this now. I sold you a whole life policy 30 years ago, and your cash value is say 100,000, right? And you're covered for
Mm-hmm.
300,000, and you borrow, which you should have been able to withdraw, but you borrow 100,000 of the cash value, and you never paid it back, and something happens. Do you know the 100,000 will be deducted from the face value of the policy before it's paid out to your beneficiary, and interest is assessed to it as well? So you're
Wow.
thinking, walking around thinking you're covered for 300,000 when in fact you're not, because the 100,000 that you borrowed, that was your money from the beginning that you invested, is deducted from the face value of the policy, and interest is assessed to it. It's a living benefit. It is not an investment. You have to borrow it. That's only you have access to it and pay it back with interest. Why not instead buy term and invest the difference? Insurance is only meant for a period of time while your investments is growing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get yourself protected? Same 300,000 for a period of time with investments. The minute that your investment is at 300,000, you're now self-insured. This is a point where you cancel your policy or reduce it and take whatever you were paying for a policy and put more money towards your investments. It's the money that we need in the end, ladies and gentlemen, not an insurance policy. Insurance is simplified as this. It is nothing more than buying money from a company to protect our estates because we don't readily have it available.
Wow. So, guys, for Chris, that was intense. So for you to learn more about what they are doing and what they are offering, guys. I had so many questions to ask, but I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm even getting an overload right now. Information. So I put Chris's information on there. If I have it wrong, please tell me. So it is this is for Chris for financial advice or to learn more. Contact Chris at 908-603-9517. Am I right? Oh, I forgot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Martha, and at I forgot to put the name at 646-384-6589, and Beverly at 508-801-9288. And of course, you can call me. And
All the
if I can
time.
help you, I'll direct you to them.
Absolutely, absolutely, Cindy. And there's so many more to finance that we can think about. No one should not have a will in place to make sure a final estate is in order. It's one of the simplest things that we do. And we offer that for as little as what, $38 can
Uh-huh.
get you a will. If you don't have a will in place and something happens, the state that you reside in will have the final say so. And 9 out of 10
Mhm.
times, Uncle Sam always keeps the cash.
Why Uncle Sam always keeping everything?
Because that's the way he's set up. It's the system, and we don't understand. If we don't know how to work within the system, we're gonna die, work our entire lives, and die penniless. Right now, it's sad to see how many people are working beyond the age of retirement because, from a financial standpoint, they fail. They never had stuff set up because they're relying on a job. They're relying on a job. Each and every one of us has what's called a financial independence number looming overhead. And ladies and gentlemen, it's simple as this. It's the figure that you need to have in place, the target that you need to eliminate in order to retire in comfort. So if you want to retire, for example, at 65 years old, there's a certain amount of money that you need at 65 to continue paying you on a monthly basis so you don't have to go back to work or work beyond 65. You cannot wait until you're 65 to plan that. You have to do that now. But here's the thing, a lot of us, like I said, we rely on the job. We cannot eliminate a target if we cannot even identify it. So if you don't know what your financial independence number is, what are you working towards? You're retiring in the dark and a hope and a prayer. And that's why so many of us have to work beyond the retirement age, because we don't have anything in place beyond our 401k.
My friends, my viewers, knowledge is power. When you know better, you do better. That's why I bring these programs to you. That's why I bring those amazing people to you guys. Because I love you, my Risers and Prosperity Builders, so much. Because I want you to prosper, not only financial prosperity, but also spiritual, physical, emotional, any kind of prosperity you can think of. Okay. So, but tonight we're talking about financial literacy. And it is important that each one of you learn about these things and put yourself in a position so that when things go bad and you are at a certain age, you will, like he said, what did you say about the investment and your, oh my gosh, my brain went blank. You said your invest if when you reach a certain age, your investment is equal to your insurance, life
Insurance,
insurance.
right? You're self-insured.
You
There's no longer the
self-insured.
need for life insurance. Think
That
about
got
it.
me. That got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're covered for 300,000, protect your estate, and you now have 300,000 in investments, that means you're self-insured. What you're relying on a company to provide for you in case anything happens to you, you now have in investments. Why not cancel what you're paying for a policy, take that money and put more money towards your investments? The older we are in life, we don't need an insurance policy. We need cash. It's the money we need to take care of us, not a policy.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, once again, you are watching Poetry and Perspective with Placide with your kind hostess, Cindy Placide, and my guest, Chris Kitchen. Okay? Chris Kitchen? No, I like to say Christopher Stewart.
Yeah, that's from the restaurant, and I just affect. I still keep it because I like to let folks know where I'm coming from, and if it was so easy for me to learn finance, anyone can do it. Cindy,
Mhm.
my background is West Indian. I'm from Jamaica, so three
Big
and a
up
half, four
Jamaica.
years.
Big up Jamaica.
Yep.
Okay?
Drop the flags in the chat so we see. 4 years ago, the
Yes.
conversation would have been about the jerk chicken, the oxtail, the curry goat, the escabeche
Mhm.
fish, the filet mignon. Now it's a whole different topic. I still do that now for my kids,
Mhm.
but my finances where it's at and helping my community and teaching financial literacy. Any one of your guests that's willing to learn, we can teach them finance. We will even guarantee to help try to get them a scholarship to where they can get their license for free with a clean background. Come and join us. Each and every one of your guests tonight, get in touch with us and we'll guarantee you at least a free financial needs analysis. There is no reason that your guests on this platform tonight should hear this information. And after tonight, there is no excuse for you to know at least what it's going to take for you to retire and how you can create generational wealth as well. And we also do a free policy review for you to look and see exactly what do you have and what you need, because and ladies and gentlemen, insurance is more than just getting a policy. If you have a mortgage, your insurance should cover it. Newborn babies, your financial needs is always changing depending on what's going on in your life. It has to be adjusted in order for you to retire in comfort.
And I urge you, my viewers, get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. What our parents and our forefathers taught us about saving money. There's nothing wrong in saving money. But in this day and age, we have got to be smarter than this. If they taught us to go and jump in the fire, right now we see there's another way to get out of the fire. Are we going to go in the fire? No. We have got to find another route for us to get to where we're going. So we have got to get out of our comfort zone and do things that are going to benefit us and our generations to come. Okay? A lot of people don't want to get out of that zone. get out. If you keep doing the same things all the time, you are going to stay in the same place. Get out of it and do better yourself. Better yourself. Get financial advice from Chris, from Martha, and from Beverly. And of course, if you want to a little bit, if you don't want to go to them, you can call me and I could always refer you to them. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, Chris, it was a pleasure having you on the show. And I
Good.
do hope that after tonight, you're going to get some calls. Okay. Now, my viewers, I need you all. I'm going to look. I need you all to start sharing my lives so that the algorithm can pick up my show and more people can come on this platform. Okay. So we can teach more people about those amazing juice. I call it juicy stuff. Okay. Now, Chris, you know people don't come on my show. I miss Dr. Raquel, but people don't come on my show and I don't ask them about their favorite food. What is your favorite food?
And that's, oh my God, that's such a loaded question,
You
Cindy.
had a
For me,
kitchen.
huh?
You had
I'm
a
like,
kitchen.
yes, I'm a breakfast person. I'm a
Ah,
breakfast person, so I can do breakfast all throughout the day. But for me, really and truly, I love my red snapper. So for me, my if I had to go, my go-to one would be the red snapper in a coconut sauce,
mm.
and then of course, being from Jamaica, we gotta have the boiled dumpling, the green banana. You guys may say green fig, we call it green banana with the
Yes.
yellow yam and all of that
Uh-huh.
stuff. Listen to me, Dr. Raquel, if you're still here, yeah, no, the starches, but we're West Indians. We can't help it. We cannot help it. I'm sorry. Don't judge me, Dr. Raquel, but we cannot help it. It's just how we were raised.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you, I tell everybody, kill me and leave my selfish and green figs. Well, green, you call it bananas, we call it green figs. Okay, leave it there. Now, if you have also some herring and some breadfruit, roasted breadfruit,
Ooh. And you
oh my
don't
gosh.
peel the breadfruit, you scrape it, Cindy. You gotta scrape that
Oh,
breadfruit and slice it, leave
yes,
it by the fireside for it to stay warm.
yes.
And when
You're
you're
talking
dishing the
about a
herring,
real deal.
see, now we're going way off topic because when you're dishing that, now you make sure that oil gets on the
Mm.
breadfruit as well and soak it up. And you got that's the point where you put a fork away and just break it with your hand and just use it like as a sponge to get all of.
Oh my gosh, Chris, you're saying the right thing.
I love
Oh
I love
my
my food. Top that off with a cup of hot chocolate. Yes, we call
God.
it chocolate that's grated with the oil on top that can never cool.
Oh, we
Towards the,
call it the cocotti. Cocotti, yes. Guys, listen, it was such a pleasure to have you. Chris, listen, I'm gonna have to
yes.
you'll have to tell me where the kitchen is. I'm gonna have to come to your kitchen.
And you have to invite me back, Cindy, and all your guests. I thank you for having me. I thank
Yeah.
you for providing this platform for so many and providing a voice for the voiceless.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. As I always tell people, it is not I come here so that I could help motivate and inspire people and inform them about things that they did not know. We all need to be informed about the important things in life. So thank you so much for taking out the time. I know you are a busy man. So thank you for taking out the time. I definitely will have you back here. And listen, guys, you all know my slogan. There are no tap outs, okay? There are no tap outs in life. You have to reach for what you want. Do not let anybody silence you. Let your voice be heard. Poetry and perspective gives you that avenue to let your voice be heard respectfully. Okay? So, and my favorite, Les Brown. We are going to fall so many times. But if you fall, make sure you land on your back. Because as long as you can look up, you can get up. Okay?
Mm.
And never, ever let failure be that finality for you. We will fail many times, but don't let failure be where you stay. Until next time, your kind hostess, Cindy Placid. Thank you, Dr. Raquel, and thank you, Chris. Have an awesome, awesome night. Please share the live, share the video, and share it with your friends so that the algorithm can pick it up. Okay, like and share. I love you guys. Have a good night. And if you have an idea, if you want to just come on this show, I don't want to always be reaching out to people. If you want to come on my show, you can always send me a message on Messenger, because I'm always, or if you go on WhatsApp, send me. If you have somebody who wants to come on, please don't be afraid. As long as it is doesn't go against the rules of my show, which I don't discuss politics and religion, we fine. Have a good night, y'all. Good night.
Mm.